Jealousy is one of the most complex and fascinating emotions we humans experience, and it has been part of our psychological landscape for thousands of years. At its core, jealousy arises when we feel that something we value deeply, be it love, attention, success, or status, is being threatened by someone else. It's that uneasy, sometimes painful feeling that another person has something we desire or might take away something we already have. What makes jealousy so intriguing is that it's not just a single feeling, but a combination of emotions: fear, anger, insecurity, sadness, and sometimes even shame, all bundled into one powerful psychological experience. Unlike simple envy, which is just wanting what someone else has, jealousy usually involves a third element: the fear of losing what is ours to another person. That's why jealousy is often most strongly associated with romantic relationships, where the thought of a partner giving attention to someone else can create overwhelming emotional reactions. From a psychological perspective, jealousy is not inherently bad. It evolved as a survival mechanism. In evolutionary psychology, jealousy is seen as an adaptive emotion that helped humans protect their relationships and ensure reproductive success. For men, jealousy was historically linked to concerns over paternity, while for women, it was tied to fears of losing resources and protection. Though society has evolved, those primal instincts remain wired in our brains. Modern jealousy, however, isn't just about survival. It often reflects our self-esteem, our attachment style, and our ability to regulate emotions. People with secure attachments may feel jealous but handle it calmly, while those with anxious or avoidant attachment styles may struggle more, either by overreacting or suppressing their feelings. On a neurological level, jealousy activates regions in the brain associated with pain, threat detection, and emotional regulation, such as the anterior cingulate cortex and amygdala. In fact, brain scans have shown that jealousy lights up the same neural pathways as physical pain, which explains why it can feel so agonizing. When jealousy takes hold, our brain produces stress hormones like cortisol, making us hyper-alert, defensive, and sometimes irrational. This is why jealousy can lead to behaviors that seem extreme or out of character, from obsessive checking of a partner's messages to sudden bursts of anger or sadness. In essence, jealousy tricks our brain into perceiving a threat that may or may not be real, and our body reacts as though we are under attack. But jealousy is not limited to romance. It can show up in friendships, sibling relationships, workplaces, and even in creative or social settings. A child may feel jealous of a sibling receiving more attention, an employee might feel jealous of a colleague's promotion, or a creator may feel jealous of another's success. Social media has only amplified this feeling. With constant exposure to curated highlight reels of other people's lives, jealousy is almost inevitable. We compare our behind-the-scenes reality with others' best moments, leading to feelings of inadequacy and resentment. Psychologists call this upward social comparison, and while it can sometimes motivate us to improve, it more often leaves us feeling envious and dissatisfied with our own lives. Interestingly, jealousy can have both destructive and constructive effects. On one hand, unchecked jealousy can damage relationships, fuel toxic behaviors, and erode trust. It can make us possessive, controlling, or resentful, pushing people away rather than bringing them closer. On the other hand, when managed properly, jealousy can serve as a signal that something important to us is at risk. It can prompt self-reflection, showing us where our insecurities lie, and motivate us to strengthen our connections, improve ourselves, or express our needs more openly. In that sense, jealousy is like a psychological alarm system. Not always pleasant, but potentially useful if we learn to interpret it correctly. Cultural influences also shape how jealousy is experienced and expressed. In some societies, jealousy is seen as a sign of love and passion, while in others, it is viewed as a destructive and shameful weakness. Gender roles, too, play a part. Studies suggest that men and women may experience jealousy differently, with men often being more sensitive to sexual infidelity, while women tend to be more affected by emotional infidelity. These differences, rooted in evolutionary psychology, continue to influence modern relationships, even if we're not always consciously aware of them. So how do we deal with jealousy in a healthy way? Psychologists suggest several strategies. First, awareness is recognizing jealousy as a normal human emotion rather than denying or repressing it. Next, self-reflection helps us uncover the root cause. Is it really about the other person, or is it about our own insecurities and fears? Communication is another vital tool, especially in relationships. Expressing jealousy calmly and honestly can strengthen trust rather than destroy it. Building self-esteem and practicing gratitude also go a long way, because the stronger we feel about ourselves, the less threatened we are by others. Mindfulness practices, journaling, and even therapy can also help us regulate the intense emotions that jealousy brings. In the end, jealousy is not something we can completely eliminate. It's hardwired into human psychology. But we can transform it from something destructive into something insightful. By understanding where it comes from, how it affects our minds and bodies, and how we can respond to it, we can use jealousy as a tool for growth, rather than letting it control us. Every time jealousy arises, it's a chance to learn about ourselves, to strengthen our relationships, and to shift our perspective. Instead of asking, "Why am I jealous?" we might ask, "What is this jealousy teaching me about what I value most?" In that question lies the power to turn an uncomfortable emotion into a guide for deeper self-awareness and healthier connections with others.